Thank you for joining in to the Two Pennies, the 2 Cents podcast. I am your host, your narrator, your commentator, Nino. First of all, please hit that like button. Please continue to be so gracious and keep the subscriptions coming. I'd like to thank the man upstairs for letting me be productive and make another day. I'd like to thank and send praises to my fans, my listeners, and all my followers, because you is making this dream materialize into something concrete and solid. The 2025 NCAA Men's Basketball Final Four in San Antonio from the Alamodome is finally here. April 5th through 7th. The 2 semifinal games, April 5th, Saturday. The first game is the Florida Gators versus the Auburn Tigers at 6:09 p.m. Eastern Time. The second game is going to be the meat and potatoes game. That's the game that I think possibly that your national championship winner will come out of it. Well, how I'm leaning, I think your national championship Monday night will come out of course, Duke Blue Devils versus the Houston Cougars, which is the second semifinal game, and it tips off at 8:49 p.m. Eastern Time. This is only the second time in NCAA history since it has went to the 64-man format that all number 1 seeds have made it to the Final Four. The first time it was the Kansas Jayhawks, the Memphis Tigers, the UCLA Bruins, and the North Carolina Tar Heels, who all made the Final Four in 2008. Representing the South region, making it down to San Antonio, was the Auburn Tigers, who had a record of 32-5, coached by the great Bruce Pearl. They had wins over number 16 Alabama State, number 9 Creighton, number 5 Michigan. Auburn was the overall number 1 seed, and they had wins over Tom Izzo and the Michigan State Spartans. So see, Auburn knocked off 2 Big Ten teams, getting down to San Antonio and Alamodome. Coming out the East region, you had the mighty, vaunted, my pick to win it all, the Duke Blue Devils, who have been the most dominant team in the NCAA this year from start to finish. Duke pulls up at the Alamodome with a record of 35-3. They had tournament wins or victories over number 16 Mount St. Mary's, number 9 Baylor, number 4 Arizona, and number 2 Alabama, in which everybody thought that Alabama game was going to be a little bit more tougher, but usually Duke push you to sleep by the second half. You can only hang with them so much, and then by the second half, rock-a-bye, baby, put the kids to sleep, the game is over. Coming out the Midwest region, the number 1 seed was the Houston Cougars. They defeated number 16 SIU Edwardsville, number 8 Gonzaga, number 4 Purdue, which was a nail-biter game. I watched that game. And number 2 Tennessee. And Houston comes to the Alamodome with a record of 34-4. And then finally, winning the Western region was the Florida Gators, who by far had the roughest, toughest, diciest road to San Antonio out of all the number 1 seeds. They beat number 16 Norfolk State. They beat the defending champion, the UConn Huskies. They beat the number 4 Maryland. And they beat number 3 Texas Tech Red Raiders, which by all intermission, Texas Tech should be here. They seemed to whip down the stretch. They were savvy enough. Seemed like Florida had more experience Texas Tech had that game. Just plain and simple. Texas Tech had that game. San Antonio, the Alamodome, which is in Texas where the NCAA finals and championship will be played this year, but also it potentially should have had two Texas teams playing in a Final Four. The Houston Cougars and the Texas Tech Red Raiders. But you got to give it to Florida. They won. They came back. They showed their experience. And now they're playing in the Final Four. The betting line for the 2025 Final Four in San Antonio. The mighty Blue Devils, the mighty Duke Blue Devils are the team to beat, in which we know that in San Antonio, Texas, this weekend. The Blue Devils' odds to win they are plus 105. Florida is plus 275. Houston is plus 450. And Auburn is plus 500. The Blue Devils are also favored to raise the John Wooden Award in the championship game Monday night. The Duke Blue Devils, I just don't see how they're going to lose. April the 7th, 2025. They are favored to win and raise their trophy. The Houston Cougars are at 550. The Auburn Tigers are at 500. And the Florida Gators are 320. So see, they have a Texas team, the Houston Cougars, who will have a home crowd because people, you know, everybody is packing up, finna head down, hit I-45 and catch 35, going down to San Antonio, coming out the 5th Ward, because I used to live in Houston, and that's where U of H is basically located at. Houston will have that crowd, but unfortunately, they have a Texas team, the Houston Cougars, least favorite to win the championship. The Blue Devils, who are a 4.5 favorite to win the second semifinal game against Houston, and the Florida Gators are a 2.5 point favorite to win over Auburn in the first game of the semifinal Saturday in San Antonio. The Final Four this year will have 3 of the Naismith Men's College Player of the Year nominees. They will have the great Cooper Flagg of Duke, Johnny Broome of Auburn, and Walter Clayton Jr. In 34 games this year, the sensational Duke freshman Cooper Flagg is averaging 19 points, 49% shooting, 7.5 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block. And Cooper Flagg has elevated his game more even in the postseason, where he's shooting 53% overall and 45% from the trifecta, from the 3-point land. Auburn's Johnny Broome ranked 6th among all Division I players with 19 double-doubles in 33 games. He is averaging 18 points, 11 rebounds, and 2 blocks per game. Walter Clayton Jr. of Florida Gators is averaging 18 points, 39% from the 3-point range, and 4 assists in 35 games. Clayton has also raised his game in the postseason, where he is averaging 22 points a game, and he's really stepping up to the plate. So, I think this year's Final Four will be one of the greatest, or one of the most entertainment and exciting watch of all time. Because like I did advise y'all at the beginning, this is only the second time that 4 number 1 seeds since 2008 have all made it to the Final Four. Only thing I'm a little upset with, peeps, is I wish Houston or Duke could have came from that other side, because really my vision was Duke and Houston playing for all the marbles Monday night. Because, of course, I was favoring Duke to win it all, but if Duke didn't win it, I was pulling for Houston. So that's really my final game right there. But I believe the winner of the Duke And Houston, the Duke Blue Devil and the Houston Cougar game will be raising the John Wooden Award Monday night, April the 7th, 2025 in San Antonio from the Alamodome. I could be wrong. But I just think, really, I know Duke is the most talented, but you got to watch them Houston Cougars. Kelvin Sampson is a heck of a coach. And then, like I said, Fifth Ward, Texas will be down in full effect in San Antonio. Y'all better look out, because them Cougars, they going to bring that crowd, and they travel well. The 2025 NCAA Final Four Men's Basketball Championship, again, April 5th through 7th in San Antonio from the Alamodome. This is Nino. 2 pennies, 2 cents.